Trump Trials and Presidential Election Daily Digest. February 6, 2024. Hello and welcome back to News Media Hant's Daily Digest. The Supreme Court is taking center stage in Trump's multiple legal cases. Appeals from Trump's teams and prosecutors are piling up. It is now the responsibility of the Supreme Court to decide whether or not to delay the trials of former President Trump. Stay tuned for major developments as the cases proceed and the election date progresses. Well, let's dive into the hot topics of the day. Is Trump's SCOTUS appeal protecting voters or undermining democracy? Defending voter rights and presidential eligibility. In a bold appeal to the Supreme Court, Donald Trump asserts his position as the presumptive nominee for president, challenging Colorado's decision to disqualify him from the state's ballot based on his alleged role in the January 6, 2021, Capitol attack. Trump's legal team contends that his removal would undermine democratic principles, likening it to authoritarian actions in Venezuela. Emphasizing the essence of voter freedom, Trump's lawyers invoke a landmark 1964 decision, arguing that any restrictions on that right strike at the heart of representative government. Despite Colorado's ruling citing Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which bars individuals who engaged in insurrection from holding office, Trump maintains that the provision does not apply to presidents, vehemently denying any involvement in insurrectionary acts. A battle for political legitimacy and electoral integrity. As Trump fights to secure his ballot eligibility amidst legal challenges, the Supreme Court faces a pivotal decision with far-reaching implications for the democratic process. Trump's assertion of presidential eligibility clashes with arguments from voters challenging his qualification, who highlight the constitutional imperative to prevent individuals from wielding power after engaging in insurrectionary conduct. With Maine also ruling Trump ineligible pending the Supreme Court's decision, the case underscores broader concerns about political legitimacy and the integrity of electoral systems. Against the backdrop of a contentious nomination race and growing polarization, the court's verdict will not only shape Trump's political future but also set a precedent for safeguarding democratic norms and constitutional principles in the face of unprecedented challenges. Supreme Court dilemma: delays or justice in Trump trial. The stage is set for a critical decision as the Supreme Court grapples with whether to further delay former President Donald Trump's federal prosecution for attempted election theft. Following a federal appeals court's rejection of Trump's immunity claim, the ball is now in the Supreme Court's court to determine the fate of the trial's timeline. Trump's legal maneuvering to prolong his trial hinges on delaying tactics, strategically leveraging appeals processes to maintain control over the case's jurisdiction and timing. It seems highly unlikely that either President Trump or his legal team believe that the courts would rule in favor of allowing sitting presidents to commit crimes without any consequences. Rather, it appears that Trump's legal strategy is focused on delaying his criminal trials for as long as possible, with the hope that he will be re-elected before being convicted. If this were to happen, he could then use his presidential power to order the Justice Department to drop any ongoing federal prosecutions against him. This strategy is closely tied to his claim of immunity, which he believes will help him buy time and delay the legal process. It's worth noting that in many cases when an appeals court hears a case, the trial court that was previously assigned to the case loses jurisdiction over it until the appeal is resolved. This could further prolong the legal proceedings, potentially giving Trump enough time to achieve his desired outcome. In the case involving Trump, the D.C. Circuit wants to expedite the process. According to their judgment, Judge Chutkan will have control over the case again by next Monday, February 12, unless Trump requests a delay from the Supreme Court. If Trump does request a delay, Chutkan will regain control of the case once the Supreme Court makes a final decision on the request. With the impending deadline for the appeals court's mandate to take effect, all eyes turn to the Supreme Court for a pivotal ruling. Trump's dubious legal arguments and the court's prior refusal to intervene underscore the urgency for swift and decisive action. As the nation awaits the Supreme Court's response, the stakes are high, with the possibility of justice delayed potentially translating into justice denied in the pursuit of accountability for attempts to undermine democratic norms. Perjury pact puzzles court over the NY civil fraud. Amid former President Donald Trump's civil fraud trial, Judge Arthur Engoron has stirred speculation by probing into a potential perjury deal involving Alan Weisselberg, the former CFO of the Trump Organization. Weisselberg's October testimony, abruptly cut short amid allegations of falsehoods, now faces scrutiny after reports emerged of negotiations with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Engoron's inquiry underscores the precarious position of key witnesses and the profound implications for legal proceedings. Weisselberg testified that he never focused on the valuation of the triplex apartment. However, a Forbes article published in October revealed that Weisselberg's emails to reporters from years earlier showed he played a key role in supporting the apartment's false valuation. Legal maneuvers and prosecutorial leverage. The revelation of a potential perjury deal adds a layer of complexity to Trump's legal battles, spanning both the civil fraud trial and a separate hush money case overseen by the Manhattan District Attorney. Weisselberg's pivotal role in both cases amplifies the significance of his testimony and the potential ramifications of any plea agreement. As negotiations unfold, the specter of perjury casts a shadow over the integrity of past testimony and raises critical questions about the credibility of key witnesses. The Forbes story highlighted Weisselberg's testimony regarding the Trump Tower apartment. However, Engoron, in his letter to lawyers, stated that if Weisselberg confesses to perjury, it could raise doubts about other issues he testified about. The judge suggested that he might consider Weisselberg's entire hours-long testimony as unreliable if he admits to lying under oath. Judicial scrutiny and trial timeline. In his fraud trial, it is alleged that Trump inflated the value of his assets on government financial statements. In the hush money case, he is accused of falsifying business records by reporting hush money payments to the former adult film star Stormy Daniels as legal fees. Trump's fraud trial is a bench trial, meaning there is no jury, and Judge Engoron is the sole decider of the case. Weisselberg, who served as the chief financial officer for the Trump Organization, is a crucial figure in both cases, having been closely involved with Trump's finances for decades. Judge Engoron's email to trial lawyers requesting details on the purported perjury deal signals a pivotal moment in the legal saga surrounding Trump and the Trump Organization. With the trial's outcome hanging in balance, Engoron's deliberations underscore the complexity of the case and the need for meticulous consideration of legal precedent and ethical obligations. As the deadline for submissions approaches, the courtroom drama intensifies, setting the stage for a consequential decision with far-reaching implications for Trump and his associates. Thanks for watching. If you like it, comment and hit the like and share buttons. Subscribe for future videos.